Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm back with my first ever solo book review. My cat's just walked in. Rue, come here. If you're new to my channel or you're not aware, as you can see, I'm a massive book lover, really big bookworm, and I have my own book club over on Instagram called Book Club with Jess. Really original, I know. But each month we pick a book down in the comments of a picture and we discuss what we're going to read. This month we chose a Carole, and this is the one. So it's the brand new release of Carole Matthews' new book, and this is Million Love Songs. I haven't read a Carole Matthews book since Christmas. It's been a really long time, so I was really excited to get into reading this, and I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, which is why I'm sat down today, because I wanted to talk about it. I feel like with my book club I talk about it just on there, but I don't share it on my videos, and a lot of you do like my book content, so that's what I'm going to do today. So when this goes up, hopefully you'll still have a little bit of time. This is currently 99p over on Kindle at the moment, so if it sounds like some book that you'd like to read, definitely go and have a look on Kindle if you've got one. If not, they're all in charity shops at the moment, because this got released in, I think it was March or April, I'm not too sure, but because it's been a couple of months, a lot of people are donating them into charity shops, so I see them everywhere, so keep your eyes peeled if it is something that you like. But I just wanted to sit down and talk about the book, and then I'll do like a spoiler section as well. I'm just going to put the blurb here just so you can read it, and then I'll just give you a brief overview as to what it's all about. This is basically about a woman who is 38, so she's in her late 30s. She's called Ruby Brown, and she was married to her husband called Simon, and she's just currently going through a divorce. It all broke down and she's feeling a little bit of a loss in her life. She's not too sure what she wants, and she's going back on the dating scene. There are two love interests within this book which I really liked. The first one is called Mason. He's supposed to look like, I'll put a picture here of what Carole describes him as, but then I'll also put a picture here as to how I imagined him, because when I started reading this, Adam was still in Love Island, so my Mason looks like Adam from Love Island. I don't know why, but that's just who popped into my mind. So you've got Mason, who is young. I think he's in his 20s. He is an entrepreneur. He owns he manages the restaurant pub where Ruby works. And then you have the other love interest, which is Joe. Because Ruby is newly divorced, she wants to start trying to find her niche, and she wants to try and find something different and a different hobby, and so she can't talk, so she takes up scuba diving, and he happens to be her instructor, so that's how they meet. And he's older, he's in his 30s, early 40s I think, but he has two teenage children, and he is currently going through a breakup divorce with his ex-partner. So they're the two love interests. That's not giving away any spoilers at all. And the story just evolves around that, and that's what I really liked. I found her really funny. I liked how you see her getting on her feet again after being in a relationship for such a long time, and seeing how she deals with scenarios and how she turns to her best friend Charlie. Charlie is, like I said, her best friend, her work colleague, and she's her rock, so whenever she needs anything she turns to her, which is something I really liked. There are parts in the story about Take That, which is where the song came from. Because I'm not a Take That fan, I didn't even clock, and then halfway through the book I was like, oh my god, I get it, like that is where the titles come from. So you've got a little bit of Take That referencing in here as well. And the basic theme of the story is Ruby is trying to find her Mr. Right, and she doesn't know what she wants, but she experiments a bit and then she decides what she wants. I would pause it here if you don't want to be spoiled anymore, but let me know if you go and get it. Let me know your thoughts if you are sort of reading it. I will say that I'm sure there'll be spoiler comments down in the comment section, so don't look, just in case. Where to begin with the spoiler section? I just loved it. I loved it so much. Right, you'll have to let me know who your favourite character was, or your favourite love interest, because I loved Mason. I don't know what it was. He reminded me a bit of Hugh Grant, the way his attitude was, and the way he referred to Ruby as Brown. I loved that. I loved the fact that he referred to her as her surname. I just thought he was really cool, and I don't know, he was just up for a bit of fun, which is what she wanted, and I feel like that's what she needed, and she needed just to blow off that steam and just have that fun, careless, free time with him. I wasn't expecting the scene when they went to Paris and he got Valerie involved. I found that absolutely hilarious. I liked how in the morning after she just fled onto the streets of Paris because she didn't know what to do with herself and she didn't know where to look and she felt so uncomfortable. I found that really, really funny. Really liked the relationship she had with Mason. I was not anticipating, when sort of everything was coming to the end, I was not anticipating her to be like 2 months later and I'm in Paris again with Mason. I didn't see that coming at all. It was a complete curveball, but I'm glad she did it. As soon as the lines were being put, like, you can sometimes get a feel for things, and when there were a couple of lines being like Mason was on his phone or Mason put down his phone, I knew that something was going to happen. So I knew that it wasn't going to be like her happy ever after with him, but I'm glad that she did it. I wasn't expecting her to stay in Paris for 2 months, but again, I'm glad she did it. I feel like she needed to do that for herself, and I really liked that. And yeah, I loved Mason so much. I also really liked Charlie and Nice Paul. I think you could tell from the start that they would eventually get together, but I just really liked how it took Charlie a really long time to realise that Nice Paul was the one for her, and I liked that aspect as well. I liked how she was just so like adamant, like, no, he's just a friend, but actually they've got so much in common that they got together. I really liked that point. I don't know if it's just me, but I found whilst reading it there wasn't a single boring part. I just wanted to keep on reading and I wanted to find out what was going to happen. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't like gripping and it wasn't like a real page turner, like, oh my god, like what's going to happen. It wasn't anything like that. I just felt so happy reading it that I wanted to continue to read it, if that makes sense. I really liked Joe. I'm happy with the way things went. I think that their relationship was really sweet and built on good grounds. I liked his job. I liked the scene when they went to where he works and they had that cinema night and they watched Love Actually. I really liked that. I just thought that was really sweet, because obviously those sort of things happen in real life, and I don't know, I just thought that was really clever to incorporate. I just liked that. I laughed out loud when Ruby got surrounded by geese and Joe had to save her. That was just typical. Like, I can imagine something like that would happen to me, like me doing my best efforts to go for a run and then just get swarmed by geese. I found that really funny. Like her trying to get to know Joe's children, because I can imagine I would have been really arsey as well, being a teenager and being in that situation. So I liked that aspect of it as well. And something I really liked in the book, 2 points. I liked how sometimes I find in chick lit, if there's like an ex-husband involved, you normally see and hear of them. They try and get in contact, or it's like the love interest, or do like the new love interest, or do I go back to where I was before? And I liked that there was none of that. Like the ex-husband wasn't even like a part of the story. There was no like, do I go back there, do I not? There was none of that. It was like, I am single, I want something new, I want something different. There was no going back to what it used to be. I really liked that. And I also liked how, again, chick lit books, you always get like, oh, I need to go to my mum's and get some reassurance and have some cake and blah blah blah. There wasn't any of that. I liked how there wasn't any like influence through parents. I think maybe just because of how I am and how I don't really have that support from my family, sometimes I get a bit bored reading it. So I just loved how independent she was. That, I think that's why it resonated so much to the character, was she did things for her and she was so independent, and like her, I can imagine like her relationship with Charlie is sort of how I am with Ellie. Like, they're just inseparable, and I just liked that a lot. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really sweet when Tom called Ruby when he got mugged. I really liked how he knew that she was a good person, but I think he was just trying to put on a front, and he didn't want to introduce or let his dad have another woman because he was sort of holding out hope for his mum. I thought that was really sweet. I just loved it all. I loved it all. And then finally the ending, I was so happy. I didn't know where it was going to go. When she was in Paris and everything obviously went south with Mason, I didn't know how it was going to work with work and obviously going back to the Butcher's Arms and stuff. I'm glad she left, obviously, and I'm glad Charlie went with her to this cafe. I really wanted them two to stay together, and I'm so happy that they did. And at the end, when Jo walks in, I was like, where is this going to go? Because obviously there wasn't many pages left or many chapters left, and I found it really funny how she got all flustered and she didn't know what to do, and Charlie was like, just go and deal with it. And then at the end he left the receipt and put his number on it, and I liked how humble he was to think, she might have deleted my number, I'm not too sure, so I'm going to write it on a receipt. That was that, and I thought it was a really sweet ending. However, talking of the ending, let me know what your thoughts are on this. I don't know if there's going to be another one. I want there to be another one because I loved it so much. I just don't know if there will be. I feel like Carole is very clever, and she left it in a place where she could pick it up in a couple of years and she could write about the story of her integrating into Jo and the children's life and taking it from there, or she's just left it as Mason is no more, she's happy, she's on her 2 feet, and Jo was like, let's try it again, and then they're gonna have their happily ever after. I feel like that is what it's gonna be, which makes me sad because I loved it so much. I loved Ruby as a character and I'd love to read more, but I think Carole's left it with the possibility, but I don't think we'll hear anything about her anytime soon. Like, I'd like to see like a Christmas special, but I don't think we will. She didn't leave it how she left Cake Shop in the garden, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. So leave me comments, let me know your thoughts, let me know what you think of me reviewing these books after I've read them for book club. I just felt like I had this need inside of me today to sit down and talk to you all about it because I loved it so much. So yeah, let me know if you take part in book club, let me know if you enjoyed it, let me know if you've read any other Carols. Now I've read one again after such a long time, I feel like I need to read some more. I've got them all, I've got every single Carole book, I love her so much. So they're my thoughts. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm sorry it's all scatty. Follow me on Instagram on Book Club with Jess. It is a private account, but if you follow, I always go through and accept people each day. So yeah, let me know if you get involved, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.